Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have tons of decluttering and spring cleaning motivation. So let's get to it. So your tears been... This is my husband's office, and I don't know that I've ever shown this before. He does not like me going in it. I did tell him I would be cleaning and organizing in here today. He's never happy about me cleaning and organizing in his space, but I kind of get to the point where I'm like, nope, it's happening, whether you like it or not. He just works so much, and I know he has a system, but definitely things that built up, and there's just overall a lack of organization in here. And so we're just gonna get him organized and really clean. This room is right by the front door, so lots of dust gets in here. And that is my dog's bed. He loves to hang out in here with my husband, so there's always a buildup of dog hair. There is lots of tech stuff in these drawers, all just kind of shoved in there. Also up there, there's probably going to be a lot of things I'm going to have to set aside and ask him about. I know there's a lot of stuff in there that he just kind of carried over from our old house, which he had carried over from his house before we got married. So I kind of want to deal with some of this stuff once and for all and figure out if it's really needed or if we can get rid of it. So I am starting off on the right side of his main desk area, those sets of drawers there. This is probably an area that's most frequently used. And so I am just taking different bins and going to start sorting all of the items in there and trying to just categorize them as best as possible as I go through them. My goal here is just to get them in bins, sort what I can, the items that I do know, put them back into the desk, and then start creating other bins of stuff that he needs to sort through later. And so you'll kind of just see me going through this process, filtering out through all of the items. It's a process. There are a lot of little items in this drawer. So as I start organizing, there's lots of rearranging as I start trying to fit everything back together. So you definitely do not have to get things right on the first pass. You can take your first stab at it and then just start rearranging and getting everything situated as you go through more of the drawers and more areas. I probably need to go back through it again and, rearrange things. I know my husband went back through everything and kind of resituated the things that I had done. So don't ever feel the need to get things right on the first pass. You can always go through it again and again. So this is just the first drawer, and look how many chargers I found. This is not including chargers that we keep in our secretary's desk. And this is like earbuds and all sorts of random cords, old MP3 players, like very old MP3 players. I think we were using those back in 2011. So a very long time ago, I had no idea all this stuff was in there. I think a lot of it he didn't know was in there. What is a normal amount of chargers to have in your home? Because I think at the end of it, there had to have been like 20 of them. So definitely in excess. This is probably one of my husband's weaknesses, is that he does, when you have a lot of a certain item, it's just best to keep them all in one spot, and he was not doing that. And so he would be like, I don't know where any of the chargers are. So he would just keep buying more. And then just a natural accumulation as you get new devices and new chargers. So yeah, it was just kind of a combination of all of those things. But when you keep everything in the same spot and you have a system for all of these little items, you can more easily see what you have, so you're not buying an excess of amount of one particular item. So I just have to jump in here and say I found a total of 5 watches in his office, and the man does not wear watches. And this is not including, I think, one of the nicer watches I bought him several years ago. I think that's in his bedroom or closet, somewhere in there. So he had a total of 6 watches in the house, and he doesn't wear watches. So he did actually get rid of, I don't know, maybe 4 of them. He did get rid of quite a few. So we have a more normal amount of watches now. Batteries. Hey, look, more chargers, more cords. Oh my goodness, what a nightmare. Okay. If you are new here today, and all my returning viewers, thank you so much for spending your time here with me today. If you are new, my name is Heather, and I love all things cleaning, and I would absolutely love it if you subscribed and joined me on this journey while I work full time and tackle motherhood and taking care of my home. So as I was editing this video and just listening to everything back, there was tons of audio, and just kind of how I wanted the video to be was me talking through all of the drawers, and as I was sorting everything and just listening to it back, I feel like I was just being super, super critical, and that's not how I want to come off. That's not how I feel about my husband, and he is an amazing man and such a hard worker, and the fact is that we are two very, very different people. What bothers me does not even faze him. We just approach things very, very differently, and that's okay. So please show him some love, say something encouraging in the comments. He is definitely a trooper for letting me even walk into his office and even touch his things and even attempt to organize, because he really does hate it. And he really is an amazing person for even tolerating me and my crazy need to have everything micro-organized and decluttered. So yeah, he's an amazing person, an amazing human, and I'm so incredibly thankful for him. We just are very much on opposite ends of the spectrum on how to organize and clean, and that's okay. I'm sure there are so many other couples out there like us, and I wish you all the best of luck, because sometimes it is very hard when you are two very different people, but I love him and we make it work, and I wouldn't want it any other way. we're gonna go through all these little baskets here, and he used to not have baskets here. I measured and then ordered them off of Amazon because like those two cubbies, stuff was just getting shoved in there and I had kind of had it. So we bought those to at least hide some of the stuff. And so I know there's gonna be the most random stuff in here. So let's go through it. It felt so good to get everything put back on his desk and move on to a new space. This first bin here, I opened it and I was like, hey, look, more cords. Oh my goodness. I didn't even really attempt to go through it. I just kind of picked through it, looked a little bit, and then stuck everything back. And I told my husband, you probably need to go through this. I think he did decide to keep the majority of what was in there. I mean, y'all, I'm not a tech person. I don't really understand all of it. So I just left it alone. Now, the next bin over, there were some items that I did kind of pick through that he needed to go through. And there were a few things that we were able to get rid of. And so this whole space, we've, reorganized and definitely created more space. I think a lot of the issue was definitely an abundance of stuff, things that needed to be donated and decluttered. But I feel like a lot of the stuff was just not being stored in the best way possible. So it was taking up more room than it really needed to. And he's always like, I need more room. I need more room. And I'm like, I think you have enough room. He does have a lot of storage in here. But that is, one of the things that he loves. He loves tech stuff. And so I'm not going to take that away from him. He probably feels the same way about all my cleaning supplies. He's like, really? Do you not have enough at this point? And I'm like, no, I need more. So I definitely look at it like that. So we each have our own interest in probably too much stuff in one category or another, but He really tolerated me going through all of this stuff, and I feel like he did make a lot of progress and get rid of quite a bit.
Days without water along the sun-soaked road. We crossed over borders to get where we are, and it's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. I did it all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. Nights without sleeping 'cause you fear the night, and days without eating 'cause it ain't enough for two, and it's all for you.
I do have plans to do something with this hope chest, maybe this summer, spring, if I can fit it in. The top of it is really, really damaged. I think previously someone had set plants on them, obviously had been watering them. And so the veneer is really falling apart. And so I don't know if I can sand it down lightly and try to restain it to match, or what I can do with it. So I'm still thinking about what I want to do with it. But I love it. It's beautiful. It's just really, really damaged. And I want to just kind of bring it back to life so we can keep it for many, many years to come.
When it is freezing, I will keep you warm.
So now that all the decluttering has happened, I can finally get to some deep cleaning here in this room. Again, it is right by the front door, and my dog spends a lot of time in here, so it gets just incredibly dusty in here. It is just, I feel like, almost impossible to keep up with. And my husband doesn't love me coming in here and cleaning, so I definitely don't clean this area as much as I do other areas. So like the windows, I don't don't know. I probably haven't cleaned them in a year. I think I cleaned them last spring break, so mid-March. It's been, close to a year. So way, way, way overdue. And as I was cleaning the windows, I can open them from the inside and clean the bottom part, and they were absolutely horrible. And so I was looking up at the top part of the window, and we definitely need to get out there this spring and clean the windows, like at least the top parts. It is really, really, really bad. And I don't know that I've ever cleaned the screens. So I need to take down the screens. Now, the second story, I don't know if I want to hire someone out to do that. I don't think I'm brave enough to try to even attempt that. We probably have a ladder, I think, that's tall enough, but I'm afraid of heights. My husband's afraid of heights. I think I would rather just hire somebody, a professional who has all the right tools to do it safely. So I really, really want to paint this store black. I think it would look absolutely amazing. I've been looking at all of these different ideas online and doing screenshots and sending them to my husband. He's like, no, that looks terrible. And I'm like, no, are you kidding? It looks amazing. So let me know your thoughts on how you think it would look to paint these French doors black. So the office is finally done. It looks so great and it feels so good to have something else checked off my spring cleaning to-do list. my husband appreciates everything that I did. I know he did not love me in his space, but he does appreciate the effort and the time that I spent getting everything cleaned for him. He is definitely deserving of a very nice and clean space. And yeah, it just felt good to have that first room right when you walk in, all cleaned up. So now I am moving on to another deep cleaning spring project. I am taking apart my Dyson. I had been thinking about it and I was like, I think it's been a really long time since I've deep cleaned it like this. And every time I do deep clean it, I change out the filters. And so I went back and looked at our Amazon account, and it was August of 2022. So well over a year, almost a year and a half. And our vacuum was really starting to smell pretty bad. I mean, we have a dog, so he sheds quite a bit. And as you can see, all of that fur is built up all in the cracks and crevices. It was really, really disgusting. So definitely overdue. I know you're supposed to do it more frequently, but it is just one of those things that it is just gets put on the back burner. I mean, look at that. That's absolutely nasty. That's why I am wearing a mask. I remembered from the last time I cleaned it in 2022. I didn't wear a mask and my allergies flared up. I was in pain for like a whole week. I was so congested. My eyes were itchy. My nose was running. It was so bad. So I wised up, put a mask on, and just went to town, pulling out all the fur from all the cracks and crevices. I'm just using hot soapy water to wash the parts that I can. Again, I bought new filters on Amazon, and then I just let everything dry overnight. If it is warm and sunny outside, sometimes I'll go set out some of the different pieces out in the sun to make sure it's dried completely, but definitely make sure that you let all the pieces dry. You definitely don't want a mold or mildew smell in your vacuum.
I know it's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you. So hold me tight through the night. It's just us two, me and you.
So little did I know, right at this moment, I was wrapping up the little tiny screws into that trash bag and I had thrown it in the trash. I did not remember that I had those tiny screws in there until later that evening, like hours later, and I was in the shower and just randomly thinking about it, and I was like, oh my goodness, the screws. And thankfully I hadn't taken the trash out, but I still had to take out that black trash bag and literally dig through the built up dust and dig the screws out. It was so gross. I was so frustrated with myself because I'm like, oh my goodness, I've already gotten clean and now I'm just putting this dust all back over my body. But at least I remembered, and otherwise I would have been in a serious situation where I did not have screws for my Dyson. So glad I remembered, but just note to self for next time, I need to put those screws aside and somewhere safe so I don't wrap them up and throw them away.
Ends. Let's be more than friends, yeah. You know I'm here to stay every single day, yeah. So hold me tight through the night. Just us two, me and you.
So it is the next day, everything is dried, and I'm just putting all of the pieces back together. I learned how to take my Dyson apart and clean it from some guy on YouTube I saw many, 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 many years ago. If I can even try to find that video, I'll link it below. So this is definitely not a how-to, but if I can find one, a good one, I will definitely link it below. But it just feels so good to get another spring cleaning project checked off the list. Again, I'm so happy to have you here, and I hope you will stay tuned for my whole spring cleaning series. So if you haven't subscribed, I would absolutely love it if you did, and don't forget to say hi in the comments.
Oh,